Okay, and in this LAMP demonstration I'm going to look at some of the advanced CRM functionality. Basic CRM functionality was covered in the first video in this series, and this one we're going to look at some of the unique features to LAMP. One of the key things in any CRM, a marketing automation system, is data, and you can purchase or load data in from external systems or your own sources, and data loading is a key thing. Over time you'll probably find that you've got many loads of data, and typically a CRM system doesn't keep track of that. However, here we'll see in LAMP a record called data source, which every time you load up a set of data, I'm not going to go through the data loading process, that's covered in one of the other videos, we actually create a data source record, and we can see that we've had 4 data loads here. These are all test ones at the same sort of time. If I go and open up one of those data loads, it tells me the, as it were, the sort of provenance of that data. So did we license it from a company? Because quite often when you purchase data from an external source, it's licensed for a period of time or has certain restrictions on it. An indication of the number of records, the type of jobs, industry or sector, how often it's updated, who loaded it, a link back to the data file so we don't get confused. And underneath that it shows us the prospects that were, sorry, the contacts that were loaded, the prospects, which projects is associated with, in campaign and division. So this information becomes invaluable to a marketer in the future when they're trying to understand what data it is that they've got loaded in the system. And this really helps, and here we have a summary showing us the sort of industry and job functions information that is being loaded into the system. If I go and look at one of those contact records, such as this, we'll see 2 things. One, down at the bottom we have a tab here called data source, so we can see which record, data source record, that's associated with. We have also access to, which campaigns and emails that have been sent and so on and so forth. But also we have a tab here actually on the record called the data source field, so we can very quickly see what the key aspects of that data load were. And again, it's the same fields as we see in the data source record. So in this first phase of CRM Plus, as it were, we have really clever tracking of the data that is in the system, which can really help us when selecting target groups and making sure we're compliant with any regulation. Okay, what I'm going to do now is go to my list of contacts. Let's close down some of these other windows. And we'll see here a pretty standard list of contacts. There's some oddities, it's some test data here because we've got multiple, oh no, we just got multiple contacts per company there. And we'll notice at the top here that we're in this field here is the division called test division, and this project and this campaign. Now when I log into LAMP, I log into a particular division, so this could be a different company, a regional office, a franchise branch, a region, a country, or whatever. So if I say I now want to work with Division LAMP, I can select, let's have a look at, say for instance, outbound email campaigns, and I'll select the campaign for new business and I will submit that. This will then take us back to the dashboard, and if I go to the contacts list again, we will now see a completely different set of contacts. So in essence, this divisional and campaign selection at the top of the screen here, at the divisional level, is a basic segmentation of the data in our system. So in essence, in this system here, I've got about 7 or 8 different divisions, as we call it. So in other words, it's effectively like having 8 different CRM systems within the system. Then within that division, we're saying we're working on a project which is called emails, and then within that project we have a grouping of campaigns. So in this one I was working on emails and new business. Now if I go back into one of our contacts, I'll go into this Julian test contact guy, we will notice in the system that it's telling us that we are now looking at division LAMP 360, which bears up here at the top. But if we go down the bottom, we also have division showing, and this is LAMP 360. Now if we wanted, we could create another relationship with this same physical prospect record with, for instance in this case, marketing automation people. So this means the same physical record now has 2 sets of this, what we call this divisional data, which is this sort of little area down here, of these sort of about 10 fields from the division downwards and the focus sector downwards. So what that means is we can have a lead grading for this particular division, which is LAMP. If we now change to marketing automation people, we could have a different grading. We could have a different opt-in and out status. So it allows us to maintain many different relationships with the same prospect. So for an agency, for instance, a marketing agency, we could be working with the same prospect on behalf of a number of different clients. This often applies to telemarketing agencies, where strength normally comes from working in a specific sector of the market which they get to know very well, so they will often be approaching the same people on complementary or even competitive solutions on a regular basis. The other aspect of this that's important is the fact that when we're loading data up, if we're loading up the same contact for another client or another division, we end up with the same physical record but with these multiple relationships. Down here, wherever we look at something like activities or an email or an opportunity or a document, and we'll normally see this down here, is that any item down here is associated with a particular campaign. In this case, that's the email new business and a particular project and a particular division. So when it comes to reporting and analysis of our system, everything that we've done in the system, such as logging calls, sending emails, creating opportunities, is always attached to the particular campaign. So when we log into LAMP, in essence, we're logging in not just to the appropriate division, but to either the project or campaigns that we need to work with at this stage. And then the whole system is reconfigured automatically to support that particular part of the business. So when we're sending an email, the email templates or documents to attach are only the ones that are relevant to this campaign or project. And this really tries to simplify the look and feel of LAMP for a user. The final thing I'm going to look at here is under opportunities. I'll pick one of these and edit it. We talk about the sales process in video number 10 in this series. But here I see this particular opportunity, and we have different types of opportunity which are related to your business, where you're saying the opportunities here were to do with telemarketing or lead generation, which is something we were involved in. But the category of this opportunity is either an opportunity, or it could be a survey where we're actually surveying a client, and we might speak to many clients or prospects, but we only actually do a survey of a few, so we create an opportunity. Or if I say a telemarketing agency and we're trying to create meetings and appointments, then we can have a meeting type, or we can have an intelligence type. And we'll notice down here we have meetings and surveys and intelligence. And if I create a piece of intelligence, typically what this means is I'm looking for leads for a particular proposition A, but I find something that may be relevant to another division or something that we feel is in the future. And we just have fields to collate this, and typically is associated with the focus sector. So the focus sector is saying our business typically focuses on, for instance, CRM or ERP. So anything that we create is associated with a particular focus sector. And then when we create a new project in the future, we can say, let's have a look at all the leads or all the information that we've got, the intelligence in a particularly focused sector. So this is saying, well, look, we were always interested in CRM information, what tools people had in place, various comments. We were interested in IT services, all sorts of information there about their IT infrastructure. What are they doing for business intelligence, internet marketing, and so on and so forth. So this can be a really useful way of categorizing and collecting information in such a way that we can retrieve it from the system in the future. So these are some of the advanced CRM Plus features inside LAMP. Thank you very much.